I got an EBT card. Is at Breezy Bowl and made 90 whatever the million. Can I get 25,000 for them four songs I owe you, bro?
He finna be in here and tell
I got an EBT card. Is at Breezy Bowl and made 90 whatever the million. Can I get 25,000 for them four songs I owe you, bro? I just want to leave, bro. I'm not even tripping though. I got an EBT card. My like what the bro? I can't even get nothing, bro, man. I want to see you cry on here.
Kevin McCall just blew up online after breaking down in tears on a podcast, claiming Chris Brown still owes him money. And not just pocket change. He's suing Breezy for a jaw-dropping $10 million. But here's the real question. What actually happened between these two? And why is Chris Brown out here laughing about it instead of cutting the check? Let's get into this madness. October 20th, 2025. The internet went wild.
Gang affiliation thing.
I think the gang stuff is incredibly unfortunate. That's what I would say. It's unfortunate. Being somebody who really is, from that life and know what that's about, I would never promote that. You know what I'm saying? And when you are the Michael Jackson of this time, you can't bring yourself down to a level, to people at that level, unless it's there to bring them up.
After a clip from the Back on Fig podcast dropped, showing Kevin McCall completely falling apart on camera. This wasn't some small emotional moment. It was a full-on meltdown from a man who once had his pockets stuffed with money and industry respect. Watching it felt heavy, like seeing someone's whole downfall unfold in real time. McCall sat there, tears streaming, opening up about how broke he really is, saying he's on EBT, surviving off food stamps just to get by.
I think that's Chris Brown's perspective.
Chris Brown said, remember this, you can't walk across a burnt bridge, and you know what's funnier than a troll? A broke one.
Yeah, I mean, he goes to social media and says, oh, I made the song, I did this. So then how come for the last, 2025, 2020? Like, how come for the last 14 years, Chris Brown's still been good since the song that you were airing your first grievances about, which was Strip, in 2011?
Imagine that. The same guy who used to cash in fat checks from hit records now depending on government help just to eat. He even said he's drowning under $2,000 monthly child support payments for his daughter with his ex, model Ava Marcel. The contrast was insane. And then came the part that broke the internet. Through tears, McCall cried out that Chris Brown owes him $25,000 for 4 songs he helped write. He said, "Why the S I got an EBT card and this is at Breezy Bowl and made 90, whatever the F million." You could hear the pain in his voice, not just about the money, but the betrayal. This wasn't about the cash alone. It was about feeling thrown away by someone he helped rise to the top. According to McCall, Breezy still hasn't paid up. He just wants what he's owed for those 4 songs. Some blogs, though, took it to another level. Sandra Rose and Comic Basics reported way higher numbers, saying McCall was after $3 million. But that's because they mixed up his unpaid royalties and that so-called invalid label deal with Chris's camp. But the man himself, in the actual video, made it clear. It's $25,000 for 4 tracks, nothing more, nothing less. Now, that sparked a crazy debate online. People were asking, if you once had millions, how you out here crying over 25 bands? But that clip wasn't about math. It was about humiliation. McCall wasn't just broke, he was broken. At one point, he even pulled out his EBT card on camera and slammed it on the table, straight proof of how far he'd fallen. The pain in his eyes said it all. He said he wears a mask when he uses it. Not for COVID, but because he's too ashamed to be recognized while swiping it. That image hit deep. A man who used to write for one of the biggest R&B stars in the world, now hiding his face at the grocery store just to buy food. Think about that for a second. You once worked side by side with Chris Brown, making records that hit the charts, living that superstar life. And now you're too embarrassed to stand in line at the store. The fall from fame to food stamps is brutal, and the whole world just watched it unfold live. No matter how you slice it, this was one of the rawest moments hip-hop has seen in years. McCall's breakdown wasn't just about missing money. It was a man crying out for respect, recognition, and a little bit of dignity in a game that chews people up and spits them out. And the fact that Breezy's out here smirking about it, that's what really got the internet talking. What makes it even more tragic is that Kevin McCall admitted he hasn't seen his kids in over 10 years. He blamed it on being broke and tangled in nonstop legal drama that kept him away from his own flesh and blood. You could see the heartbreak written all over his face whenever he talked about it. That mix of regret, guilt, and pain hit hard. Back in July 2023, a judge ordered McCall to cough up $1.5 million to an ex after an alleged freeway assault. Just another huge debt stacked on top of all the others weighing him down. And that's not even counting the earlier domestic violence accusations that added even more trouble to his name. His ex-fiancée, Eva Marcille, didn't hold back either. She went public, accusing him of being abusive, even claiming it started while she was pregnant with their child. That's when everything in his life really started to crumble. By 2019, his custody filings got thrown out, and the courts weren't having any of it. He was broke, buried under lawsuits, and stuck with restraining orders and unpaid legal bills. It was like his whole past came back swinging all at once. But let's be real, McCall's story didn't just fall apart overnight. To really understand how a man can go from driving foreigns and rocking designer ice to literally needing government help just to eat, you gotta rewind a bit. In a 2019 interview, McCall flat out confessed to blowing through an estimated $8 million fortune. Yup, $8 million. Gone. Not stolen by a label, not lost in a bad deal, just burned through on wild spending. He admitted to splurging on cars, chains, and a flashy lifestyle that was never built to last. It was the kind of recklessness that only makes sense when you're young, rich, and think the cash will never stop coming. But reality hit him like a truck. Because when the music slows down and the money stops flowing, the bills don't. Then came the arrests. And man, they came one after another. In January 2019, McCall got arrested for domestic violence again, this time involving another woman. Prosecutors later hit him with felony injury to a spouse charges. Things got worse when he missed a court date, and by September 2019, the case turned official. But the chaos didn't stop there. That November, during a child support hearing in Fulton County, McCall got into it with cops and ended up being arrested in court. You can't make this stuff up. All those legal hits, the reckless spending, and the personal demons painted a picture of a man spinning out for years. So when that podcast meltdown went viral, it wasn't just random. It was the latest chapter in a long, painful decline. The difference between where he is now and where he once was couldn't be more extreme. Imagine. One day you're getting paid thousands per track, living that celebrity life surrounded by fame and money, and the next you're crying on camera, begging for $25,000 and depending on EBT to get groceries. That kind of fall hits deep. What made it sting even more? The timing. While McCall was breaking down online, Chris Brown was out on a massive world tour, reportedly pulling in somewhere between $90 to $100 million. That contrast, one man flying private jets while the others struggling to eat, made the whole situation even more emotional and dramatic to watch. The internet reaction came fast and ruthless. Some people showed compassion, saying McCall looked like a man crying out for help, crushed by the industry and battling mental health issues. They felt sorry for him, seeing him as a reminder of how cold the music game can get. But others weren't so forgiving. They dragged him hard, saying, "This the same dude who blew $8 million, put hands on women, and made death threats toward Chris Brown and even his own daughter back in the day." To them, McCall wasn't a victim. He was the author of his own downfall. Either way, the man's collapse became a cautionary tale playing out live for the whole world to see. And people couldn't look away. The phrase, "you reap what you sow," has been echoing all over social media whenever Kevin McCall's name pops up. A lot of people believe his current struggles are karma for his own choices. not just the music industry doing him dirty. It's wild how fast public opinion flipped, but at the same time, this whole situation between McCall and Chris Brown exposes some ugly truths about how the business really works. Because let's be real, this beef goes way beyond two artists falling out. It shines a light on something way bigger, the music industry's dark side, where writers, producers, and behind-the-scenes creators often get crumbs while the main stars take home the feast. McCall's story fits perfectly into that pattern. He's not the first to say he got shorted on royalties, and sadly, he probably won't be the last. But even deeper than that, his story shows how so many young artists step into fame without the tools to handle real money. McCall's own confessions about blowing through millions show how serious that financial literacy gap is in the game. One minute, you're cashing $50,000 checks per track. The next, you're broke, confused, and pointing fingers while the world laughs. It's a harsh reality that hits too many rising stars. And then there's the mental health side, which cuts the deepest. McCall has opened up about battling suicidal thoughts, living in poverty, and feeling like he's lost everything. His breakdown wasn't just a viral moment. It was a cry for help that revealed how little support there really is for artists once they fall off. The industry loves you when you're charting, but the second your streams slow down, you're on your own. This is the part that had fans torn. Some saw a broken man who needed help, while others saw a cautionary tale of pride and bad choices catching up. Either way, it's a brutal reminder that fame without stability is a ticking time bomb. But here's the kicker. After all those interviews, tears, and claims about Chris Brown owing him $10 million, there's still no record of any lawsuit. Court databases, news archives, and official filings all show nothing. No lawsuit for $10 million, no legal battle in motion, nothing to back up the viral accusations. Critics say that's proof McCall's claims might not hold up in court. Others think maybe the statute of limitations ran out, or that filing a case simply costs more than he can afford right now. Whatever the reason, it just adds another messy twist to an already tragic situation. At the end of the day, Kevin McCall's downfall is more than just a story about fame gone wrong. It's a warning about how fast success can vanish when money, pride, and mental health collide. Thank you for watching. If you liked this breakdown, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Click one of the videos on your screen right now to dive into more wild music industry stories and celebrity drama.